Ryan Kearney from Lean Made Simple, and I'm really excited to announce the first panel discussion for the 2 Second Lean Summit. This first panel was hosted by Paul Akers himself, and the panel included Norm O'Hara, Alex Ramirez and Jack Bussey, and they talked about lean leadership and loads of other really interesting topics, all based around lean. So I really hope you enjoy this panel discussion.
We have three of my amazing friends here, and all three of these amigos have been to Japan with me, but they're all totally different. So the big question for me is, what makes a great lean leader? And you guys are all kind of wondering that, guys and girls. And I always think to myself, what are the characteristics? Well, it turns out they're not what you would think, and they're not generic. And we have Alex and Norm and Jack up here, who I know very well, or at least pretty well, most of them. And they're all totally different, and they're all extraordinary lean leaders. I'll say it again. They're all, one more time, they're all
extraordinary lean leaders.
Lean leaders. How could they all be totally different and be
Extraordinary
lean leaders? Well, let's find out. What makes them tick? So I'm going to give a quick description of all of them, and then we're going to talk to them. You ready? Alex, outgoing, charismatic, always in there, warm, fuzzy, just the consummate guy who can get the freaking job done. Norm, quiet, humble, unassuming. Jack, always calling the bullshit card on everything. The consummate skeptic. And all three of them are highly effective. How could it be? What makes you tick, Alex? What makes you tick?
People.
Okay.
I love doing anything on lean with people. People is what moves me. I understood that. It's funny that I'm right here in front of everyone, but what I have learned is they're all right in front of me. So it's very hard for me to speak about it because I've learned it from you guys, from you, Paul, and from everyone. So what really ticks me, what keeps me going, is seeing a beautiful smile from someone in my shop.
Right.
That gets it, improves, and goes home happy. That's what ticks me.
Okay. Good. Norm.
It's very, very similar, actually. Every person that we have working for us is...
A little louder.
Is that better? Every person that's come to our factory is someone who's made in God's image. They're this package of talent and God-given genius. And we've been blessed with these people to try to steward these assets and try to help them to have the fullest and most dignifying job. And when you do that, the rewards back are unbelievable. And 2 Second Lean, Paul, and like Alex said, everyone out here, you've helped us to see what that actually could look like and given us the chance to actually do that with our staff.
Jack. And first of all, they had no clue anything that I'm putting on them right now. This is completely from scratch, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Correct.
So I think what makes me tick is I thoroughly enjoy creating product. And that was one of the first things.
A little louder.
Paul talk. He was a D grade student and just wanted to create. And that was like banged me in the head. So that makes me tick so strong. And
is making products?
Is making products,
creating.
Yeah,
innovation. You're the Edison.
Yeah, exactly that. But I struggle to communicate with people exactly what I need. And I used to think everyone see exactly what I see. And it's only the last 5 years, bit by bit, I'm learning that not everyone sees how I see. Everyone sees it through their own eyes and can't see what I can see. So I have to communicate exactly what I want, what we need to do together as a team. And growing people is ultimately me. 5 years ago, I didn't even want to send Paul a 1-minute video to go on the Japan study mission. And now I'm here in front of 200 people.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell am I doing?
So to summarize, you're the mad professor, the inventor, the one that's always trying to create something new and solve some problems, maybe not particularly good at working with people, and you had to get good at working with people.
Exactly.
Norm, on the other hand, for me, you love people, but I didn't see you on the back of the bus in Japan as a leader. You were so freaking quiet. I was like, it's never going to happen. What happened?
Yeah. Well, there was two things. One, I was just so overwhelmed by everything I was seeing. It was a lot to take in, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the other thing is just that I didn't have the tools to know how to actually lead really well. And I'm still learning an awful lot. But Lean has kind of become that framework. I've heard Ryan say it a number of times that it's almost a person development structure,
Right,
and methodology, and it's given me the tools to become a better leader, to be able to actually influence my team and to really take it to another level. And so I credit it to 2 Second Lean.
So I want to get this straight. Jack, you had to learn how to lead. You were a great inventor. You were already a leader, but you didn't have the framework to lead at the high level. Did I get that right? Have I summarized it okay?
Yeah.
Alex, you're the consummate leader in all regards. You had it all together. What happened that you just like blasted off to the moon?
I think 3 to 6 months in my journey when I discovered your book, and I remember driving to work, and I definitely just had a moment and said, "This is it. Lean is for me," and implementing unleashing the power of people. This way was all new for me. I was very technical. I was an expert in the group. And for me, it was
more like
technical.
Jack then? Were you more like
I was
Jack?
more technical, maybe, I don't know, more like Jack, but everything was techniques. I thought having the best machine, the best process, the best benchmark, being in charge of benchmarking throughout the group that I work for was the thing to do. The best equipment, and telling every company what they should be doing, how they should be doing pipe and threading and all of this. And then I find out that that's not the key. So from being an expert, from radical expert, to totally unleash
The human side.
human potential was for me, once I found that key, it was like, I got it. This is it.
You flipped very quickly, didn't you?
I
Or
did.
how long did it take you to make
But I
that
have been
flip?
studying Lean for 20 years, and
Right.
this is
Been to Japan and everything.
yes,
right?
Yes, and I remember coming from Japan. I thought I would never be able to do that. That's just for the Japanese.
Right.
Until I found 2 Second Lean.
But why did you flip so quickly? Because you did flip quickly, didn't you?
Yes, because I started following the recipe, and
It worked.
It worked, and I was like, I have to do this. And so I did 6 months, day and night. I mean, I was there every morning, and then it just, I had to prove it and see if it really worked, because nothing was working, right? And once I saw it working, I was like, what the heck just happened?
Okay. So
That was
So I think it's very important to, again, none of this is scripted. We have not talked about anything. I'm discovering as we're going along. You applied the recipe, but with intense time input. So Mr. Amazawa said earlier, it takes time. It took 40 years. You applied enormous amounts of time in a 6-month period, and you got a crazy result.
Normally a manager in a corporation comes in comfortably
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock, leave at
Yeah.
5,
Right.
even some people earlier, if you know what
Tell
I mean.
them what your schedule was.
So
it was insane.
I got up at 3:30. I was there at 5, ready to do the morning meeting, and left maybe 6, 7. And I can see Tomas there.
And
He was web plant manager.
did a complete wrap-up video.
Absolutely, wrap up video every day, which then the guys did. But it all is being involved, giving a lot of emotional energy to your team,
Okay.
and making every improvement shoulder to shoulder, and that's what it takes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Norm, what was your strategy? Because you've been wildly successful. If anybody hasn't seen Norm's videos, literally they are the best 60-second videos ever produced by anyone in our community. We say CD Matters is the best factory. Norm is the best 60-second videos ever. Okay. What was the strategy?
Yeah, for us, you know what? At the beginning, it was we struggled a lot, and it wasn't because the ideas of the tools were bad. It was that I didn't understand because I was taking lean into a Chinese factory, and I didn't know how to translate some of this across. And I
Right.
thought it'd be easy. Hey, you're going to fix what bugs you. Just tell me all the things that are bothering you, and we're going to do everything we can to help it. And no one would raise their hand because in that culture, if you raise your hand complaining, you're a troublemaker and you're out of here. And so what we had to do is we had to make people feel comfortable and to know that we weren't there was not going to be
How
repercussions.
did you do it? How did you make people feel comfortable?
Yeah, at the beginning we had to actually almost pull them by the hand and say, we're watching you do this process, and you're bending over, and then you've got to bend over again. That must be bugging your back. Yeah, it does. Okay, well, let's stop right here and let's change that process. Let's figure out a way to stop doing it. And they go, yeah, that's better. Can I keep it like this? Absolutely. You're not going to have to change that. Is there anything else we can change? And one by one, it was we had to convert every person.
Until you got the energy and emotion of everybody on board. How long did it take?
Probably 18 months.
18 months. And what was your work schedule? Just curious. What was your time frame that you put in personally to making that happen?
Yeah, I was in the office every day by 7:30, and then I'm out of there by about 6:30.
Were you on the Gemba the whole time, or what were you doing?
Just about, yeah.
Just about all the
on
time.
Gemba, yeah.
So it's a Gemba
That's
equation.
That's really where the whole thing. The office kind of would follow I mean, they were
Right.
so that it was all on the factory floor.
Okay, Jack. What was your formula? What was the flip point?
Flip point, I had 2 years of struggle trying to get lean started. Went to Japan, come back, organized a bathroom. I set the standard and I said everyone to respect it. And then I started to teach basically the history of Toyota and very deep into the lean learning. And the people just didn't get it. And I had 18 months, 2 years of that going round in that circle. And then we come back. I took 3 guys to visit Seating Matters, went back. We got a bit more momentum, but it still kept failing. And I was going into it very complicated, I feel. And then Alex was posting videos on a lean group we're in. He was posting every day for 2 weeks. And I was like, I didn't really pay attention at first. I was like, who is this crazy guy? Then I started watching them. And then it just realized I stopped, went back to the beginning, 3S. That's all you need to do. It's in Paul's book. And I was trying to complicate it,
Very natural.
Yeah, very.
People love to complicate.
Yeah, and that's what we do. Well, that's what I don't do anymore, but I used to do. All the Japanese words I was teaching people, I stopped, And we're still at a point now where some people only know Pokeyoki. I don't tell nothing else at the moment to certain people, We are still cleaning and still 3S'ing every day. And
Wow.
I make a daily video and I've done 600 videos.
Unbelievable. And this was the quiet, shy guy that didn't want to go on videos. Now he's making those powerful videos, engaging. The transformation between all three of you has been extraordinary. All three of you are totally different, which is really interesting to me. And all three of you are the kingpins of the lean movement. Everybody looks up to you and says it's amazing. So we have 3 minutes left. Questions. Is there anybody that has a question for anyone? Go. Let's quick, Thomas. Go for it. Here, I'll give you the mic. Go.
Yeah, thank you. So it's more a comment than a question. I think what links you guys also is that you were on the shop floor doing the improvements with the guys. I've been working with Alex, and when I quit and I moved to my own company and I wanted to do lean right away, but I had a million things to do at the same time. And I failed because I said to the guys, okay, now we do 3S and we do improvements. But I didn't have the time to be there with them doing it. And it didn't quite work until I forced myself to spend the time on the shop floor with them doing the improvement. And then it took on like crazy. So I think what links them together is that they were on the shop floor doing the improvements with the guys.
The answer is Gemba, 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 Gemba. We've learned it in Japan from Mr. Umemura and Mr. Amazawa. Gemba, go to the Gemba, go to the Gemba, go to the Gemba. All three of them went to the Gemba. All three of them totally unique. Any more questions? Is there another question? Go. Go ahead.
Jack, I recognize your personality. That's me. I struggle with people And so what are some in that change that you made, what are some of the, for people like us, that you can give us some advice on how to work better with people?
Better with people. I've come to realize that I know we're talking about a lot of variance, but I think it all can be fixed with good communication. So good communication. So if you have a problem, I'll say, Paul, you haven't made improvement today. And you might say, well, because I forgot. You can't forget, because we're trying to grow as a family, as a team. We need to do that. We're here to serve our customer. So you can fix generally any single problem with good communication, I feel.
Golden. And give me one, how did you do that? How did you communicate at a higher level? What did you do?
What did I do?
What did you do to change your communication skills?
I think I decluttered my mind of everything and went back to basics, 3S and communication. Right. So we're still at a point.
So you simplified the communication, simplified the message.
Yeah.
Did that help, Derek?
Yeah.
Okay.